We're here in Monte Carlo for the Rendez-Vous de Septembre. For AM Best TV, I'm Richard Banks. And I'm joined now by Jon Sullivan, Chief Underwriting Officer at Brit. John, it's good to see you again. Welcome.
Yeah, good to see you again.
So here we are, I guess, the halfway point of the Rendezvous in many ways. What sense do you get of the overwhelming themes that are coming through?
Well, I guess thematically, everyone's talking a bit about getting home with the challenges with the travel. But no, I think there's acknowledgement that first quarter was tough with the wildfire. Second quarter's been unusually quiet. And as Monte Carlo usually falls, it's somewhere halfway between the start and the end of the hurricane season. So there's usually something to talk about, something's happened or something in the water, and neither of those occurred. So I think from that standpoint, there's not a kind of a live drama in terms of a cat loss happening. So people are, I would have thought, feeling reasonably comfortable. So the discussions are fairly straightforward.
So there's a sense that we're perhaps at the peak, or maybe a little bit past the peak of the market cycle. What does that tell us about what might happen next?
Well, it's interesting because you know they will all be different, but in the end they're somewhat similar. So I think it's all about the preparation for what's coming. I think, as I say, in terms of results and performance this year and the last couple of years, it's been very good for carriers. We've got to recognise that there's going to be some more pressure coming. I think people recognise the market's in a good spot. There's still margin down there, so there'll be more competition. It's just what happens next and how people react. And on the way up, when the performance is good, it's definitely easier. It's when things get a little tougher, then picking the right strategy will matter.
So there's a lot of talk about underwriting discipline as prices are coming off.
Yeah.
Tell us about how Brit approaches that.
Yeah, no, I think we're probably more comfortable in our skin, as it were, in terms of knowing when to put our foot down and when to take it off. I think we've got better data to recognise where there's margin, where we keep the foot on the pedal, and equally coming out of stuff at the right time. So I think that's really important for us and the way we navigate what comes up next.
In terms of the reinsurance or the insurance role in evangelizing the industry, you heard a lot about the protection gap and the value of insurance and reinsurance. Where do you sit on that?
Yeah, that's tricky. Evangelizing is a good, interesting word. So yes, it's a challenge, and we can see plenty of losses that are not recovered or covered by the insurance industry. In many of the regions of the world where we're not, as Brit, don't particularly have a big presence, but certainly some products, cyber is probably the one that gets the most press in terms of growth. Then maybe that's less of a protection gap, but more of just an interest in the product and a need to buy it. But no, I think we'll see sort of more focus on that, particularly with climate change affecting a lot of regions of the world.
And here in Monte Carlo, inevitably, conversations sort of coalesce around particular topics. And this year, AI seems to be high on the agenda. Is that something that is on your radar? Is it an opportunity, a threat? Is it both?
Definitely both. And I think if you're not embracing it and trying to find out how you can help your business, then it's going to make a big difference. And I think we're looking at it in two ways. Is we have process, which is an obvious place to go first in terms of how does AI help our process and take boring work away from people that could be doing more interesting and more impactful roles. But I think the secondary and the really interesting bit is how it helps our underwriting. And with that, there's data we have, and we've always captured, and the way our underwriters manipulate it to pick a risk and decide what to charge. But then the next level will be capturing data that we didn't know we needed, or data that we would like to have had, but we couldn't capture it and manipulate it. So that's where I think there's going to be a real difference. And I think once you're picking better risks, then you'll see a divergence in performance.
One final question, if I may, John. Is there one issue that you think is being overlooked today that's going to be really important in the future?
I think the change with facilities and fast follows and the way the market's moving faster at deploying capital will. I don't think it's being missed. Maybe I'm not going to answer your question, probably, but I think that's a really interesting dynamic that we're going into, the way people go to market. Right?
Tell me a bit more about that. Tell me about what the challenge is or the opportunity.
Well, I think the kind of, I suppose, bifurcation between lead and follow will probably become more defined. And certainly from Brit, we definitely work on our lead proposition,
Yes.
and hopefully the brokers and our clients see what we're bringing rather than just a couple of percent on a slip. So something we're very keen to do. But then equally, I know the follow markets are getting much slicker and better at presenting capital to follow leaders. So I think that will be an interesting development.
Certainly, we'll watch that with interest.
Yeah.
Jon, it's great to have you with us again. Thank you very much indeed for your time.
Yeah, good to see you again. Thanks.
For Invest TV, I'm Richard Banks.